Hey, what is up? Welcome to Dharma Time here on WPSN99.com. As always, I'm your host, the Dharma Guy, here with the Dope Doctor. What's going on?
¿Qué pues, hermano?
First of all, are you recording right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So this is, for those of you who are watching, this is our first show of the year, 2020. Yay!
Yay!
And you can tell because we're a little rusty, apparently. Oh, my God.
Maynard said, are we new to this?
We are new to this, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh
20 years and counting, and still can't do it.
Oh, my gosh. Anyways, welcome. So, once again, first show of the new year, and yes, as you can tell, beard is gone, for those of you who saw my post. I universally learned how to piss off my wife and my kids all in one go.
Yeah.
I came around a corner with it shaved, and they were all upset. Did not see that coming, by the way.
That is weird.
But no fret. It'll be back soon. I'm like a werewolf.
Shave day is love day at my house. You know, my wife loves when I shave. My mom loves when I shave. My dad loves when I shave. Everybody loves when I shave in my house. Cut my hair, shave. That's how I get everybody's love.
Not in my house. My house, I get shunned.
Yeah.
So anyways, all right, so today's show is going to be living with age, but first let me go through our normal housekeeping before we forget to do that as well. I don't think the Share the Love event is still going, right? It's over? I don't even know.
Josh didn't even know. Josh. My dad bought a car over there. My dad went to Sport Subaru South, bought a car.
Right.
We asked, hey, how long does the Share the Love event go? He goes, I don't know, 14th, 6th, I don't know. And then my mom read it because it's already like today's the last day.
Okay, so that is over.
My wife read it. Somebody read it.
We had a great a good time with Sport Subaru South. Thank you very much for doing that. They were helping to benefit. Nice segue there. The Now Matters More Foundation.
Amen.
So for those of you struggling with the disease of addiction, you want to help out, you want to donate, you want to see more about it, you need help, you can go to www.nowmattersmore.org and you can see what we do there, or you can call 833-NOW-MATTERS. That's 833-NOW-MATTERS. And as always, you can follow us on all the social media. That's at WPSN99, at the Dharma Guy, at the Dope Doctor. And you can watch all the old shows of this one if you want to watch them visually on youtube.com/Dharma Time. I think I got them all in, man.
I think you did
I'm
good.
a little out of practice, if I'm honest.
Well, give it thanks to Sports Mazda, by the way.
Yes. Sports Mazda, their whole thing, like the Sport Subaru South, Sport Mazda, they're all kind of under the same umbrella.
Anything under Don Mealy and Jay Mealy, his son.
They are, we're going to have a thing here soon with this big check in the background where you saw last week.
It's right there.
We're going to do like a big photo shoot with them and stuff because, they really come through in a big way, man.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Out of the blue, we get another $1,000 check for the Now Matters More Foundation.
Yeah, they are.
Thank you very much.
They're doing big things for us, and we appreciate that. And it enables us to help a lot of people. Actually,
man, look, they got Subarus, they got Chevys, they got
everything.
They got Mazdas, they got all kinds of.
You get a car.
Everybody gets a car.
Everybody gets a car.
Yeah, my dad got a car.
Yeah,
my dad got a brand new cool car. He got an Outback, but that Outback was bad. It was like the Onyx package,
right?
And so it was like white. And it has like black accents, so like black rims, black accents.
Yeah, I saw that. It looks
good.
good.
It's a really cool car.
No, it looked good.
Congrats, Pop. You know what I mean? He got it for his 80th birthday, brother.
That's awesome, man.
80th birthday, he goes and buys a car.
That's awesome.
It's beautiful.
Speaking of 80, what a great segue that is. So,
this show's just for you, Dad.
There you go. Actually, this was, for those of you who are watching, both on YouTube and on Facebook here,
right.
If you have a show in mind or a topic or something that's bothering you or something that's impacting you or your family, and you'd like some insight on, you think we could add value, by all means, messages, emails, do whatever you got to do, get it to us, and we will do our best to make that a topic.
Right.
And so today's topic actually comes from a friend. They were experiencing some difficulties at their job. I guess there were some people being let go, which required them to do more work at their job, more work than they were probably getting paid to do, I guess. Depends on how you look at it. And they were having a hard time.
That's impossible, by the way. Take that from a business owner. I'll never give you more work than what you're getting paid to do.
There you go.
That's why there's a line that says, and all other duties not otherwise specified.
Yeah. So anyways, and they were having a hard time keeping up, and they were saying it was due to their age. Just physically, they weren't able to kind of have the same energy that they did when they were younger, and so they got let go. For the first time in their life, they got let go for productivity reasons. And so what that did was it kind of shattered their confidence a little bit. So now they got a new job, and they were thinking, for the first time ever in their life, the thought crossed their mind, like, can I do this? Like, am I able to do this now? Because I was just let go for this, and how am I going to keep up?
Yeah.
And so their question was, they wanted us to do a show about confidence and maintaining it,
Right.
and while you're getting older.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a remarkable show, actually.
Right.
I know we've kind of mentioned it before, but I think today's show is going to be dedicated to it.
So we have Tom Brady on the line. Hey, Tom.
Yeah. How's retirement? So anyways,
How'd that last pass go for you, Tom?
it was so beautiful. Pick 6 is the way to end it, man.
That sucks for him, man. Nah, he's a champion, man.
He's coming back.
You got to come back, Tom. Just
will.
you can't let it end like that. I think you should do a walk-off touchdown pass.
So, I think I can add some value to this conversation because I'll be 39 in a couple of weeks, almost 40. I didn't see he laughs. We were talking about this prior to the air, which is why I'm glad we didn't talk too much about it, so we can get it all out live.
Because the way you just said it, wait.
Oh God,
you saying we're going to be talking about age and how to have confidence in age, and then you go, and I think I can add value to this because I'm turning 39.
Yeah. Well, I'm not 19, but I'm definitely not 50. So I'm in that middle bracket here.
So tell us, wise one. Tell us the wisdom that you've now gained.
I don't know
by
anything.
being almost 39.
I know nothing. Well, I'll be 39 in a couple weeks. Anyways, I digress. That's the point, though,
Tune in
right?
for the birthday show in a couple weeks.
Oh God. But that's the point, right? I finally have reached the age where things physically and are breaking down a little bit. I'm not capable of what I used to be capable of.
Yes.
And I got to be honest, man.
Yeah.
We talked about this, off the air numerous times.
Yeah.
But it was hard. It still is hard for me.
I reached that age at 19.
Yeah.
I peaked at 19.
But it was harder than it is now. I've gotten better, but I still find myself frustrated at times because I grew up, at 19, 20 years old. Man, I was, I'm 6'3". I'm at that time I was probably 250, but like my body fat percentage was below 15%. I was dabbling in bodybuilding and powerlifting, and so I was able to just kind of do whatever I wanted to do physically.
Right.
In my whole life, my wife and I laugh at this because she's had every surgery you can think of.
Right.
I've only had like 1 or 2 surgeries. I've never spent a night in a hospital. I've always been relatively physically healthy.
Wow.
And so when I started getting some ill effects health-wise, I had a hernia that kind of put me out of commission, and other like hormonal issues and stuff. Like
even that just sounds funny coming from your mouth.
I'm telling you, man.
I've had hormonal issues.
I know. It was hard to say.
Oh, you're gonna make me laugh all show.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a good one. You're waking me up, Trinity.
That's what
I
I'm here
thought
for.
I was gonna be dragging today.
That is what I'm here for. But no, so the aging process, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I struggled with the aging process, and I still do. I remember when I had to get glasses, and not even glasses for the whole time, but glasses for like very specific instances, I guess, like far away. And I don't have to wear them all the time, but just occasionally.
I never see them. I want to see.
You'll never see them, bro.
Really?
I'm not that comfortable yet.
I guarantee you, by the time I have to wear them, you have to wear them.
But like it was a big deal for me. Like my wife laughed at me because she's been in glasses her whole life, so it meant nothing to her. Yeah. But once again, my wife is like 5'3", like this tiny little thing. I'm like, look, you don't understand. My whole life, I've been that dude. Is just bigger than everybody. They can do whatever he wants physically. Can throw things around. I heal quickly. I bounce back quickly.
Can't get on a race car. You can't ride a. Can't ride a horse like a racehorse.
No. But when I started getting a little bit older, and I started realizing, like, man, I don't like. I remember the first day I got my taste of it. I got a taste, just a little tiny taste.
Oh yeah, what was it?
I was at the gym, and I decided to go play basketball. And I used to play basketball all the time. And there was 2 parts of this that kind of like I never experienced before. The first one was the day after when I was like so sore I couldn't move. I was like, why am I sore? Like I work out all the time. That was an awakening for me. But the real awakening came for me when, once again, physically I could kind of just do what I wanted. I'll never forget it, man. I don't even remember his name. I just remember I was forced to guard this kid. I'm guarding one-on-one, and I knew what he was going to do. I knew his first step, but I could not keep up with him no matter what I tried. He was running around me like I was sitting still.
Right.
And I even knew it was coming, and I would try. He would still blow by me. I ended up having to like be the old man there in that situation, which I wasn't.
You
even old.
cheat. And when you get older, you cheat better. You just pull.
Well, what I learned how to do with
Don't let
him,
him run past you.
what I did with him is I still had size. So when I would wait for him to get behind me, and I would just swat it every time.
That's what I'm talking about.
I got smarter.
That's what you do.
But that was my first taste of physically I couldn't compete.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, I can't follow this kid.
Oh.
And I was young still. I was like in my 20s, I think. But this kid was like 18, and he was just full of like energy that I just didn't have.
He's a fast little bastard. You
Yeah.
gotta slow him down with a little hit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that was my first taste.
Yeah.
And then when I started getting a little bit older, and then like the medical stuff started hitting, then I started realizing like, man, I'm
hormones.
Yeah, I'm losing my strength. I'm not bouncing back as early, and I was like, whoa, it still is hard to deal with at times.
I love it, man. I love it. See, because it's about damn time, Trinity.
Yeah.
Welcome to human world.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah. Because
like it.
all right, so first of all, you're probably now experiencing, Trinity, and I'm with Maynard. Maynard says he's 50. I'm 50 as well, Maynard. Where you only wash your feet like once a week, or if you really have to.
Huh?
Because there's too far away, and I can't bend down that far, and I'll fall into the shower if I have to lift my butt. No.
I just picture a turtle.
No, because you mentioned when you know. Let me tell you something, man. Little by little, you just start making adjustments.
Sure.
Like like the shower thing. Like, you know, it used to be able to reach down and not worry about falling. And now I'm in the shower and I'm like, I gotta make sure I don't slip and fall and die here.
One of those alert bracelets. Help! I'm falling and I can't get up.
Because that shower all of a sudden turned into a dangerous place. Even getting out, like if there's not a towel there, and you know, like if you don't have a mat there and you don't have a mat in the shower itself. I used to think Dana was trying to kill me because like if she was washing the mat or something, it wouldn't be in the tub, and she likes bathing.
Right.
So she likes baths. So, but that makes the shower very slippery.
Yes, I've slipped in the
Well,
shower.
as an older guy, you know, you're like this. So little things like that, you start
Yeah, man.
thinking about.
Yeah.
Like, and sticking with the bathroom. By the way, Maynard, I don't know if you've had this, but my first insecurity of getting older as a man happened with how long the bathroom took. And I was, at first, I didn't really expect, I thought something else was going to start breaking down, Trinity. I thought that was related to all the other stuff that all the commercials are about. So I'm like,
Freaking out.
oh, hell, yeah, I'm starting to freak out, but I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah.
So I remember telling my doc, that was the first thing, probably the only thing I've ever complained to my doctor other than something that required surgery, was going, is it normal to like not, you know, and he knew what I was talking about. It was like, you know, young guys come in next to you and they're like, wah! They still have the stream, wah! And they're done in 5 seconds. And another kid will come in and wah! And they're out in 5 seconds. I'm sitting there and it's just me and the other old dude. And it's like dribble. Wait, you're not done. Dribble a little bit more, dribble. And it's like, holy crap.
Sure.
It was the bathroom, Trinity. The bathroom is the first room in the house that'll let you know how old you are.
Yeah. I think, so I think that kind of on that general consensus, if you will, I think that one of the questions that was posed, and one of the things I think people who are watching this, because I know a lot of our demographic is kind of around that age group that's kind of starting to introduce to some of this, if not a little bit further along.
Every age group is introduced to this.
Well, I think our demographic, what was this, like 25 to 60, I think it was?
Yeah, nobody's talking to them 18-year-olds and under.
No. But I think that one of the hardest things was adapting. You know what I mean? Like instead of taking it like an earth-shattering, like what the hell?
Yeah.
We got to adapt, right? You still have to have that confidence to get through the day. You still have to believe in yourself. You still have to.
You better
adapt. You know.
Yeah.
You know, to me, one of the most famous adaptations that I can think of from a sports analogy is I remember, you know, my favorite player to watch was Jordan. Right. And I remember watching Jordan when he was in younger days, just dunking over everybody, flying over the place. But then in his later days, he's passing the ball more. He's taking more fadeaways.
Right.
So he's still winning championships. He's still successful. But you could tell he had to modify things to kind of stay competitive.
Yeah.
And so I think for me, like even I went to the gym this morning, right? Yesterday and this morning. Yeah. And I'm looking around and I'm seeing these young bucks in there throwing around crazy weight. And there's a part of me still that wants to be able to like, no, I can do the same. But I realize like I need to slow it down a little bit. I need to kind of progress. It's hard. It is hard to know that you can outlift somebody but purposely go under. Like I still fight with that ego sometimes.
You're making me laugh so much. Does that mean you're going to go to Planet Fitness now?
Hell no.
No, Judge. The judge freaks out.
Hell no. That's not even a gym. Planet Fitness, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but you're not even a gym.
You're going to go to the gym where everybody's like, It's okay to lift 10 pounds.
Yeah, that is not even a gym.
Judge-free zone.
Yeah.
That judges everybody that's strong like you, by
Exactly.
the way. Judge-free zone, my ass. Planet Fitness, you full of crap. You're just like everybody else that's full of crap.
But I think
Judge-free zone.
I think the problem that I had, that I think a lot of people do have, is we identify or we define ourselves about these like physical characteristics.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's part of the issue is when you like I define myself as just a big dude in the room that could do these things.
Right.
And when I was no longer able to do those things, then it was like, well, now what? Like, who am I?
Yeah. You have to you definitely have to evolve your look on yourself.
Yeah. Well, and there was one gentleman who actually kind of understood a little bit. There's this guy named Mike. He was a trainer, and I've known him for years. Like I remember him when I first got into like the training world.
Right.
He was a trainer at Ballet's at the time, and he's been old since I've known him. Right. He's just been this old dude, but he's in great shape as an older guy.
Yeah.
And I remember him when I was first starting my journey into this world.
Yeah.
And he saw me kind of go through all my transformations and start my business and stuff. And then he ended up, I seen him again at the new gym I was at. He was a trainer there. I was like, oh, wow, hey, man, I haven't seen you in a long time. We started talking. And he saw me working out one time, and he saw some of my form was a little bit different. And when the weight was, he started talking to me, and he related to me. Because, once again, I've only known him as just Mike, this old dude.
Yeah.
But he was talking to me. Like, back in his younger days, he was in he was just this big diesel guy.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, he was like, yeah, it's different. He was laughing at me a little bit, but he totally understood. He was talking about the same thing, and he actually kind of helped me a little bit in that moment. I was like, okay, like, gave me some insight to it.
Gave you eugenics.
Yeah, there you go. Him and Frank
The big
Thomas.
hurt.
But no. So I think that for me, that at least kind of gave me a little bit of, I don't want to call it hope, but it gave me like a spark of like, okay, maybe this isn't the end of the world, and maybe I just need to stop obsessing over it and kind of just, I need to adjust essentially.
Yeah.
It was nice to talk to somebody who experienced it as well.
Right.
And so for me, it was still hard, man. Like it's still hard, but I think we have to learn how to look at ourselves differently.
This is what I hear you saying. I hear you're saying you're not beautiful anymore, Trinity.
I'm weak now.
I hear you saying in my
I
younger
haven't been
years
beautiful
I would
for
turn
years.
all their heads because I was so gorgeous.
No,
Now I'm not.
I've never been pretty.
Yeah, you do have to learn how to appreciate different aspects about you. And I think that's one of the benefits of being a well-rounded individual and teaching younger people to be a little bit more well-rounded, because whatever you're depending on today, you can't just depend that that's all you need.
Nope.
That's like putting all your eggs in one basket financially. If you're thinking just that finance is going to be there, you're taking a big risk.
Yeah.
And I think there's no difference in your self-esteem. I think that luckily I didn't rely on the physical stuff, but I did rely on my brain. My brain is my greatest muscle, besides my mouth. Good, thank you, because I know somebody was thinking that. But the even that has failed me. You know, in age, we joke
you start
around
to remember
my
forget
memory.
things,
I mean, one thing that was so good when I was younger was my memory. I could memorize everything. It was like a superhuman memory strength. And then it went, and it was like overnight. It really was like an overnight, but it's been a gradual ever since, the overnight feeling. It's been a gradual decline ever since. Now I don't remember anything. I've kind of had to just like, okay.
Yeah, you rely on everybody else now.
You have to make more money so you can hire people to remember for you.
Hey, Christina and Lori, what's
that's
up,
what
guys?
it means.
Yeah, I think yeah, but I think you got to find your confidence elsewhere. I think, like you said, you pivot basically.
You definitely pivot a lot.
But that's not something they talk about a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't talk about like the downsides of or how to transition into, an older age and being successful at it.
Well, some people don't accept the pivot. If you don't want to accept the pivot, and you want to try to, if you still are trying to define yourself as you were in the last decade, like we were talking about it, then what are you doing to yourself? Of course you're not gonna, it's like an older woman out there saying, the younger woman. Well, don't try to compare yourself to the younger woman. Here's what the younger woman is offering. She talks too dang much, and she wants to go dance and party when you just want to just chill and watch a movie and just relax. So any old guy out there that's trying to go for a younger woman, have fun with that.
Yeah, go do your thing.
I like the old lady that I'm married to.
Oh, wow.
She's just about as old as me, and we can just chill and relax.
Yeah.
When we want to get energetic, we'll be energetic.
Right.
But when we don't want to, we're not going to. I kind of like that.
Well, I think that the other thing that that isn't talked about. Like I talk about it a lot when it comes to kids and stuff, but because before I had kids, I had a lot of people telling me, "Oh, your life is over when you have kids."
Yeah,
it's not. But your perspective changes. Like the things that you wanted to do prior to, you don't really want to do anymore.
Right.
And so to me, it was the same thing as aging. Like as I've gotten older, my perspective has changed. Like the things that I deem important in my life that I want to give my time to, just have changed.
Thank God.
Yeah. Well, because I couldn't do it anyways. So, I mean, there's things that like 19 or 20 that I want to go out and do.
Yeah.
That I'm just not really gonna. It would take a lot more out of me now to do, but I don't want to. Like you said, now I'm content with just kind of hanging at the house, Netflix and chill. Watching some TV, relaxing.
Right.
I don't need to go out there and be running around all the times anymore. So to me, that's not a weakness. Like I hear the thing about aging is it's not really good or bad. Right. A lot of people think aging is bad. I do know a lot of people who hate and fear aging a lot.
Right.
They're chasing wrinkle creams. They're chasing. They refuse to admit
color in their hair.
Yeah. And so for me, it's not really good or bad. It's just a fact. It's just a new thing that we have to adapt to. And like you said, if you still look at it from that lens of a younger age, then yeah, dude, aging's going to suck for you.
It's going to really suck for you.
But if you start to look at it as like, okay, well, I offer different qualities now. Like I offer more wisdom. I offer more, more patience, more tolerance. Like I have a lot more that I can offer now. Like I look at who I would have been even just to my kids, right? Or even to the show.
Right.
At 19, I would have.
Who's listening to you in your 20s?
Nobody.
What adult out there is even treating you like an adult in your 20s?
Exactly. What have you done in your 20s?
Here's the problem with the 20s. You think you're an adult.
Yes.
You're walking around thinking you're an adult, but the only people that even look at you like an adult are all the teenage kids.
Yeah.
Because no adult is looking at you like an adult.
No.
Here's what's cool, Trinity. You are 38 years old. You are ending what I think is the most not the most productive, because 20s are very productive, but the most adult decade of of a human life, the 30s. It's where you are definitely in your career, if that's where you were pursuing. Yeah. You are definitely in a relationship, married or divorced by now. Yeah. You either had your first, second, or third kids, or babies, daddies, or something. Yeah. In other words, there's so many of those life events that have now occurred.
Yeah.
Or you're in it. You're deep in it.
Because this is my last year of 30s. I'll be 40.
Yeah. This day. So tell me about the experiences that you experienced differently in your 30s, that you took differently, that you embraced differently than you did in your 20s. What about that? Because you're entering now the 40s, which to me were awesome. I love the 40s.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you say that, I kind of am looking forward to the 40s. Like, I've never been the guy who's been afraid of aging. Like, it's never bothered me. Right. I've always been excited. Like, I love my gray hair. Like, I've earned them. I'm proud of them. Yeah. But to me, I never really pictured 40 growing up. Like, it just never occurred to me.
Right. Well, you didn't need it then. Now you need to think about it.
Now
Now you got to start thinking about it. It's coming
40's
around the corner.
Right around the corner. So I'm looking at it, and I am kind of excited because by the time when I'm in my 40s, I'll be able to start a different life with my wife. Because my kids will start getting older, they're moving out. Like, who knows where the career-wise will start to kind of evolve to over time. Right. And it becomes more about me at that point. Yeah. Whereas my whole 30s has been about my kids. Like, I had my kids when I was like 28, and so, like, from my 20s to now, it's just all kids. Like, they were a priority. Everything I did was to give them the life that they have and try to raise them and teach them things and do whatever. But to me, I think the 40s feels like it's going to be all about me.
It's going to be back to you again.
And my wife. Even. Like just us and just building something, which I'm excited about. Yeah. But that's also because I've learned how to identify differently. Right. Because now I'm more proud. Like before in my 20s, I was proud of the fact that I could bench, 400 or 500 pounds. Right. That I could squat 500, 600, 700 pounds. Right. But now I'm proud of, like, look at my kids. Look how well they're doing. Yeah. Look at the people who reach out to us on a daily basis and how we've impacted their lives. Right. Like, those are the things that I'm proud of, and I can still do that. Yes. I don't need physicality to do that. Like, I could be at any age. I mean, I could be old like you and still do it. I had to get the dig in there.
Yeah. Dude, I just entered the 50s. I am 50 now, and I'm excited about it because the 40s were really cool. That was a really cool decade. The 50s, but so much change in the 40s. The 40s was the first decade where I saw the physical changes. Right. So all the real physical changes started happening in the 40s. So it's very different.
It sucks for me because I already started in my 30s.
These 50s, I know from 50 to 60, there's going to be a lot of physical changes happening. So now I'm going into it's like a home stretch period of now, like we were joking earlier. I said, all my life I've kind of said F it, but I couldn't afford the ability to say, I didn't have F it money.
Right.
I was just walking around saying F it, right?
Right.
But at 50, I'm closer to like what I looked at what happened to my dad at 70 when I saw him just all of a sudden say, I don't care. And I saw it happen. I watched my dad just be like, all of a sudden, him go like, I don't give a damn. He never said it, but I saw it.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, my God, I want that.
Sure.
And I'm closer to it now, Trinity. In this 50s,
yeah.
I'm going to learn how to say F it even more.
Yeah.
And you can say anything you want.
Well, and the other thing, too, I mean,
not yet, but you're getting there.
We've talked about the physicality part of it. But the other one is the mentality part of it, right? Like, and I'm not talking about the old ones where we're losing, our ability to even think. I mean, that sucks for anybody. Right. But I am talking about. I remember growing up, it was always the joke of grandma or mom can't program the VCR.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, VCR is a thing you used to watch movies on. But I look at today's world. I mean, back then it wasn't that big of a deal because not even everybody had VCRs. It wasn't a big deal. You could still watch your shows. But in today's world, technology has like skyrocketed, and so now like I look at sorry mom if you're watching. My mom cannot deal with her phone at all. Like she calls me at least Kathy. 7 times a day. Well, there's a stupid thing, and it's something she's doing wrong or something she's not seeing. Occasionally it is the actual device, but it's usually something that she did or didn't do right. And I know, and she's actually pretty decently in tune with today's technology.
Yeah.
But then she has friends, and I see them, and they're not. And I can't imagine what that feels like to wake up in a world that's completely foreign to you every day, that you just don't know how to use any of it, or you refuse to evolve with it.
Right.
And like you still have one of the old like flip phones, and you don't like, and it's easier to use, but at the same token, I gotta imagine it's hard to watch.
Right.
It's hard to sit back because I know now. Even you and I joke about all the time that we're dinosaurs in the sense of like our views on certain things, on male-female relations, politics, whatever.
Yeah, for real.
That our way of thinking is just kind of dying out in this new generation. But technology, man, like I gotta imagine with everything becoming quote unquote smart these days, I can totally understand how somebody's confidence could be rocked when you are trying to like understand something and you just can't understand it. And you don't have like an 8-year-old that can explain it to you. Right. And you're just trying to fumble through it and nothing seems to work. I can understand how somebody would be frustrated at that.
Right.
But the good news though is there's classes everywhere, right? I mean, the library has free classes.
That's an old thing. Going to a library for a class. I know they do.
They do.
I know they do.
I wasn't going to say the internet, but if you're technologically have a problem,
go to YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing, right? I mean, this whole topic came up because you received some sort of message from somebody, so they knew enough to do the message.
Well, no, they talked to me for.
Oh, never mind.
But I don't. Their issue.
Well, let me go with that.
Their issue wasn't technology. Their issue was
the job.
Their job. They're for the first time in their life.
Right.
Their confidence was wrecked a little bit.
Right.
And they were questioning their ability to get something done.
So let me speak a little bit to that. Let's speak a little bit to that. So individuals out there, if you're in the workforce and you're getting older, that could be difficult because you're expecting yourself to perform at the same type of level, but here's the best way to explain it, I think. I don't know if they're going to get it, though, because it's an older crowd, right? Let me go with this. All right, so like when you play a video game,
right?
And if you look at attributes of any character, of any video game where you have a character, like a Madden, you have your speed, your this, whatever it is, there's like 50 different aspects to one thing, right? There's like so many different characteristics to one thing. So if you're thinking about how well you perform at your job, there's so many different things about that job. Now, if you're just looking at one, which is your strength, then you're not allowing yourself to look at your ability to be a little bit more patient, or your ability to, instead of reacting, you respond, you analyze the situation and then do it. For instance, my father doing a construction thing is slower, methodical, but correct and solid and lasts forever. Another person's idea, a good friend of mine, I saw them work side by side. I saw a good friend of mine, Ramey, if you're watching, and my father working. So Ramey would do a job, very physical, strong, does it fast, but, I mean, it's just there. It's done. You know,
The
it's one of
quality
those,
is suspect.
The quality is suspect compared to my father, who's slower and methodical. And those two working together, it was like horrible.
Right.
You know, like they couldn't work well together. But my point is that when you get older, you have to you change.
Yeah.
You adapt to your skill set.
Yeah.
Right.
You change your approach.
So if anyone out there is struggling with their job and say, "Man, I don't feel the same at my job. I'm not performing. I don't know if I can handle all these things." I think the anxiety of it is causing you more problem than the actual problem itself.
Yeah. Well, like for instance, I know myself now at my age where I'm at, I listen more.
Right.
Right. Like if I'm going to a situation, I used to be the type of that would like run in. I'm like, all right, let's get it happen. Let's make it do it.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, okay, let me assess it first.
Yeah.
Like let me work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
You know, let me figure out things.
Slower bull that we're not going to say. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that's part of the process, right? Instead of looking at aging as a bad thing or as diminishing in some sort of way, instead look at, okay, you have all these other skill sets that have now increased, right? Like, yeah, you might not be as quick or as strong as you were before.
Right.
But you've seen enough now to where you
Right.
can assess a problem a lot faster than
Right.
you used to. So the time it used to take you to make 4 or 5 mistakes
Right.
and then learn from it, you've already made those mistakes.
Right.
So now you go straight to the solution.
Right.
So the time you saved on making those mistakes is time that you can use on doing whatever the solution.
Yeah.
You know, like here's a stupid example, but like my kids yesterday. My 15-year-old had a friend that stayed over for the last couple of days. They've had no school. Today was their first day of school. So on Sunday night, they decided, and see, you've got the wisdom where as soon as I say this, you're going to see the problem.
Oh, okay. Let me put my old man wisdom on.
As soon as I heard it,
Right.
I immediately saw the problem with it as well.
Okay.
But their young thinking was like, this is going to work.
Right.
So they decided that they were going to pull an all-nighter and stay up all night long and not sleep at all. So that way they'd be really tired on Monday night, and then they'll wake up no problem on Tuesday to adjust their what is it called, the circadian rhythm? Or
Yeah. Oh boy! Don't be doing words that I got to write down. It's the
but,
beginning of the year.
So that in their mind, they thought it all out. That was
Right.
the youth. They're
Right.
like, we're going
Right.
to do this.
Their best thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I immediately was like, okay. So you guys think that you're going to stay up the entire time, right? But I so happen to know the reality of the situation. Number one, sleep always wins. Whether you want it to or not, it's going to win.
Good luck with that.
And number two, I know them at their age, they're both lazy. And so if you're going to stay up for that amount of time, you got to be busy. You got to be doing something. You got to be stimulated.
Yeah.
You can't just say, I'm going to stay up, but I'm going to lay down on the couch and watch this TV show.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
No, you better get on a video game.
You do something to wake yourself up. So my last words I spoke to her as I walked out the door was like, yeah, okay, I'll give you 8 minutes after she leaves before you're asleep.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. So I went and did what I had to do. When I came back, guess who was sound asleep on her bed? I was like, exactly. You know, so, but to me, that was the age thing, right? That was the
Right.
wisdom. I had
Right.
enough wisdom to understand. And so that doesn't mean that I'm incapable or anything. That just
Right.
means if I was going to do something like that, I have the wisdom to say either A, I'm not going to do it, I'm going
Right.
to plan differently,
Right.
or B, if I am going to do it, I'm going to make sure I set myself up to succeed
Yeah, you know how to
by
do it.
having things to stimulate me and do whatever it is to make sure I do it.
Exactly.
She was completely lost.
Right.
She thought that she didn't need to do anything else, just I'm going to choose to stay awake and I will.
Yeah.
No way in hell that's going to happen.
Right.
Especially because she doesn't know how to sit and watch TV. She lays down.
Right.
Well, your body's like, okay. So,
Yeah.
But I have the wisdom to know that.
Right.
And so for me, I think that's an example. It's trivial, but that's an example. As we're getting older, we might not be capable of certain things, or we might be diminished in some areas. But where you should get your confidence is you have the wisdom and knowledge that comes with age.
Your problem-solving skills are so much more
superior.
all of
Oh,
a sudden.
yeah.
So first of all, let me say hi to Kevin Morris, who's he's at the airport on his way to an intervention. How you doing, Kevin?
hello.
And then Mike brought up a good point. All right, so you're going to a job, right, Trinity? Let's attack this issue because we're talking about employment a little bit, right? So you're going to a job and you want to try to get a job, but you are competing against a younger generation, and that could be viewed by some, not all, because as a person who hires, exactly, as a person who hires, I'm not necessarily looking for youth. So let's speak a little bit about that part. You're going for a job, and you feel like your age might be a negative.
Well, I think it all kind of depends to me, anyway.
If you're a boxer, it is.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. If you're a firefighter, I would prefer the younger person that can lift my big self up.
Right.
So I think that's where you go for things that are within your skill set. You
Yeah.
find jobs that are conducive to where you're at.
Right.
If you're, 60 years old, you might not want to go looking for a manual labor job.
Right.
Like it's going to be frowned upon.
Right.
That doesn't mean you're less than. That just means you don't fit those requirements. Much the same, I wouldn't go out tomorrow and try to be a brain surgeon.
Or a Walmart greeter. They just wouldn't hire you as a Walmart greeter
No,
yet, Trinity.
Probably not.
They'd be like, no, you're going to scare people
Yeah.
at the front of the store.
Yeah. So I think that's you got to approach it in a more sound way of, all right, what are jobs that youthfulness is not necessarily a requirement.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, they're probably, if you're 60, 50, whatever, they're probably not looking at you as, hey, this person's going to come here, we're going to invest time and money, and they're going to retire.
Right.
Those aren't the kind of jobs that you should be looking for.
Right.
It's just, and it doesn't, so you could hurt yourself by not realizing or not being real with yourself and where you're at.
Yeah.
Like, you might feel young and exuberant, but the world sees you as 50. So you might not want to go to a job that's done by 20-year-olds.
That's right.
It doesn't mean you're less than, it just means you weren't kind of being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
With where you're at, and you adjust accordingly. And the other thing that I will say that I wanted to comment, because I know some of the people who are indirectly dealing with this,
Yeah.
and that is the world evolving around us. We have to evolve with it as well, right? And I say this because I know some people who are in an advanced age. The late 40s, early 50s.
One of us over here.
And they're getting back into like the dating game.
Oh God, no, not me.
And so I've talked to them, and they have a set of expectations or mentality of what it's like, of who should call who should do these things, and then they're struggling in today's world because it's completely different, and they're getting frustrated. And so what I was saying to them was like, you got to understand, those days are gone. Like that idea, that mentality is just not here anymore. In today's world with the internet, it's just
all online, man.
Yeah, man. It's just the days of like, pardon me, ma'am, can I court you today? It's just those are over.
Wait. Is that what you see older people like me doing? Can I court you?
I don't think
you're going much older.
Yeah, I don't think you're that old.
Okay, thank you.
Because
I don't think I've ever asked to court
But those
anyone.
things of like, I'll pick you up at 6:00 sharp and we'll do dinner.
Oh, okay.
It just doesn't. Dude, you got apps nowadays where you don't even have to speak to somebody. You just show up and do what you got to do. Like,
You have apps where it tells you exactly what we're interested in.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no small talk necessary.
Yeah. So you gotta evolve.
Yeah.
You gotta play the today. If you
Right.
keep trying to make the world fit into what you think you should be,
Right.
you're gonna be upset, and
Right.
aging is gonna be the worst thing for you. But if you embrace and evolve with the times and kind of grow with it and learn how to adapt, then aging can be a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my
Yeah.
mother is in her 60s now, and you wouldn't know it. Yeah, she struggles with her phone sometimes, but I think everybody does.
Yeah.
But she embraces technology. I mean, she streams with me now. Like she did the
That's
streaming
awesome.
stuff. She cut her cable.
Yeah.
She got rid of her landline before I did. Yeah.
Tell her to talk to Dana. Dana doesn't want to get rid of that damn thing.
So, but my point is, aging for her has been a beautiful thing. She's been able to, instead of saying, hey, I'm not physically capable of things I used to be, and some of the stuff is frustrating, I got medical issues. No, she gets to watch her grandkids grow up.
Yep.
She gets to see her son evolve and do things and find his little niche.
Yeah.
She gets to see all these and witness all these things that it's about her now.
Yeah.
Right? And so that is, and once again, she's embraced technology.
Yeah.
She's embraced things, and she's not fighting it. She gets frustrated sometimes when maybe she's not quite there yet for some of the technology, but she's embraced it enough to where her life is kind of cool right now.
And she gets mailbox money now.
Yeah.
It just comes to you.
Yeah.
It just does.
So I think
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I think that is a huge component
Yeah.
is evolving with the world around you.
Yeah.
I think where the problem with the aging comes in, other than the physicality of it, is mentally. If you're not willing to compromise, if you're so steadfast in how things ought to be,
Right.
and to be honest with you, that's not really an age thing. That's a human thing, because you can be 19 and think things ought to be a certain way and
Right.
get disappointed every day. And so to me, if you're older, you should be old enough and wise enough to understand that the world doesn't care how you think it should be.
Right.
The world's going to do what it's going to do. You have to kind of get in where you fit in. You have to adapt to it. And to me, that's where the confidence comes in.
Amen to that.
Being able to adapt.
I was always an old soul, so to me, this aging process isn't that difficult.
I like aging. Other than the physical stuff.
I don't mind the physical
I do.
because I didn't give a damn about it. And to be honest with you, I really looked up to Fred Sanford, and now I just walk like him. So, like, if you see me in the morning, I don't mind. I'm hobbling around, You know, I mean, it's not the most attractive thing in the world, I'm sure, but you know, that's why I picked right early on.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't do anything to scare her away.
Oh,
I've kept her, and therefore I'm allowed to look like Fred Sanford and
dude,
look like
I
that.
watch some of these shows, and I see the kids now, like my young one, or my middle-aged one's the 16. Yeah, that I think I feel blessed.
Yeah.
That I've already found somebody. I'm together. I don't have to worry about the dating game.
Woo.
I don't have to deal with any of that stuff, because I don't know if I would see the same success now as I did back then. Just because my mentality is just different. And I don't know if I don't have the tolerance that I used to.
I wouldn't.
As I've gotten older, my patience for certain things has dwindled, to where it's gone up in other areas.
I gotta admit, I don't want to date not a damn one of you.
No.
I'm so glad that Dana loves me.
No.
I don't want to date any of you because I don't want to go through all that again. Here I would find me a 70-something-year-old Betty that you know is active for her age.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that would be ideal for me. You know, but these guys that are my age, Trinity, that are trying to chase a 20-year-old or 30-something-year-old.
Give it up, man.
Oh, my God. Why would you do that to yourself? You know you're going to die of a heart attack on one of them bicycles with your little bike shorts and your little stupid-looking helmet. You're going to die.
Well, to me, it kind of does come down to it, because I do, like, I guess I was also blessed in the sense of I've never been that guy that's afraid of aging. Like, I've never fought it. But the ones who I see struggle the most are the ones that fight.
Yeah.
They don't want to just admit you're getting older.
Yeah.
And to me, the thing that I've always explained to people, or I've always said, is you're a winner. Like, you've made it another day. Like, that to me is a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, if you're getting older, that means you're successful.
Yeah.
That means you've beat the odds every day.
Yeah.
Like, you've earned a certain amount of respect. Whatever, how to respect your
Walk around like an OG, man.
Yes.
Well, I wear that OG badge, man. Are you kidding?
Yes.
That's what I said when I turned 40. When I turned 40, I knew I had 20 years in recovery. I knew I had 20 years in my business.
Yeah.
I was like, shh. At this point, I'm an OG in my business. You can't tell me anything. And now it's 30. So now it's 30 years. What are you really going to tell me in my business and in the world at my age? Because I've earned that. So I'm gonna walk with a strut. But now I've earned the strut.
To me, that's
whereas
where the
at
confidence
17, 18, 19, I walked with a strut because I thought I was big time. Now I walk like, because damn it, I am it, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just confidence and it's not just cockiness. It's like you have a whole what do you call it, resume that you've accomplished. So you're like, well, what can you say to that? You can't take away my resume now. You know what I'm saying?
And for some people, that resume is different than others. But the resume that they
We all have a different resume.
But the resume that they all have is, once again, you've lived.
There's experience in something.
Yeah. Like,
I didn't put my finger in a socket. I didn't jump
Exactly.
off a building. I didn't get in front of the stupid train. And apparently there's a lot of idiots that get in front of trains.
Well, I'm thinking like of the person who's maybe 50 years old right now who doesn't have the career path that you have,
Right.
They can still be confident that you've made it 50 years, man.
Dude.
You've seen a lot of things in life. You've seen technology come and go. You've seen robots. You've seen the Challenger. You've seen events. You've seen wars. You've seen stuff happen.
Yeah, man.
That has value.
Yeah.
It does.
You've had a lot of cool experiences, man, and you got to latch on to those. Or you've given birth to some kids. You know, if you have that, and you get to watch them.
Yeah.
You got to live through their eyes. So let's answer Mike. Mike says it's hard to date at 50. You get, damn, Mike, dating at 50. You're right. Mike, here's the cool thing at dating at 50. This is the point where I seriously looked at Dana like a couple years ago, and I remember telling her, look, if you're going to leave me, you better leave me now. While I can still get something. You know what I mean? Because don't wait. Don't you just leave me hang when I need you to change my diaper, and all of a sudden you say, you know what? I ain't changing shit, and walk away. Don't leave me then.
Here's one of the phrases right here that Terry Cullen just commented, and I love this.
He said you were talking to him.
Well, when I was younger, my ego wouldn't have let me say this phrase.
Okay.
But now I've gotten older. I love it and appreciate it.
I want to hear it.
Terry Cullen says, "Never stop learning, though. I'm old enough to know I don't know everything."
Exactly. That's for sure.
That is one of my favorite phrases.
Right.
I don't know anything.
Yeah. I'm getting dumber.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah, man. The older I get, the more I realize I don't know anything.
And don't care.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't care that I don't know it. Here's the beautiful thing. Someone can say something and say, do you know that? And I can go, no. I just don't give a shit.
Don't care.
You know?
But that is true, though. It's never stop learning. And as far as the dating game when you're 50, my advice to that one is just find people with the same priorities you do. And somebody who's 20 years old is not going to have that. They're in a different,
No.
like you said, you have different decades of your life. You know, when you're 50, you're in a decade where you're starting to think of life after. You know, you're thinking of aging and kind of your, you know, what your goals and objectives are different than at 20. They're still building, and so I don't know what you would have in common with somebody like that.
Don't go younger, Maynard, because Maynard. Don't go younger because some of the activities that they like now younger. Thank God, I'm not younger.
I'm not touching that.
I'm not touching that. So Maynard, don't go younger. You're gonna need to like really scrub your face and your nose and stuff really bad because that's stuff you don't want to do.
That's funny.
But the older Maynard, there's less competition, Maynard. So many of us died off at 40 and 45,
That's
and
funny.
you're at 50. So your competition is dying off, Maynard. So you're in a great position to just boop, jump in there. And the small talk, not necessary.
No.
At 50, you know damn well.
Yeah.
All they want to
think,
know is, do you need medication to be with me today? That's all they give a damn about at this point.
But I'd say, to me, I think that's where you get your confidence, man. As you get older, you get your confidence through your wisdom, through your experiences, through your problem-solving skills. Like that's where the confidence comes from.
Yeah.
Now. Because at 50, your problem-solving skills are most likely going to be light years beyond somebody at 20.
Yeah.
Not because you're any smarter or dumber or whatever. It's just because you've had the experience of, I've done this, it didn't work. I've seen it not work. I know better.
Right.
Because, you know, it wasn't a young person who, you were talking about carpentry and working and things. Yeah. It wasn't a youthful person that came up with the whole cliche of measure twice, cut once.
No.
That wasn't a 19-year-old that came up with it, I guarantee.
No, they did the iPhones.
Yeah.
But they measured they measured not at all. They measured it with their eyeballs and cut 15 million times.
Yeah. So to me, like that, all these cliches, that is wisdom.
Yeah.
Those were old people who came up with those, man. Like the measure twice, you work lazy, you work hard. I say that to my kids all the time. I didn't make that. That was an older person. But I didn't start using it until I got old enough to realize if you work lazy, you work twice.
That's it.
And so to me, that is where the confidence comes from, is the wisdom, the years of experience that you've layered on top of one another, where you've gained insight.
Right.
You've gained wisdom that you just don't have at 19, 20, even 30 sometimes.
Even like what Maynard's saying is I'm content being alone. Being the ability to be alone and not be lonely is something that you learn.
Yeah.
You know, because it's okay to be alone sometimes.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we talked about that, right? The kids are back at school, Trinity. Tell me how much it's better. Like, that house is quieter. You know what I'm saying?
I love my kids, but I love it when they go back to school.
Yeah, when everybody leaves my house and I'm there alone, because I know they're all coming back. So it's like, it's not like I'm worried about them coming back. So I'm like, I got
Peace
the
and
whole house.
quiet.
Yes, I can watch what I want, how I want, where I want. I don't have to have a damn shirt on.
Yeah.
You know, I can walk around the way I want to walk around.
Waka.
I can talk like that and get away with it.
Yeah,
now.
nobody
Who cares?
But yeah, I think so. The aging thing definitely doesn't have to be viewed as a bad thing. I mean, if it's so much better than the alternative. Like, I want to live, bro. So aging means I'm successful. It's better than the alternative.
And you're not guided by other parts of your body anymore.
No.
There's other parts of your body that used to rule your world. It would tell you what to do, how to do it, where to do it.
Yeah.
It would move you.
Yeah.
I'm not guided by that anymore.
Yeah, now the other part kicks in. It's like, but
it's like my turn.
Yeah.
Let me.
But you have consequences now that matter. You know, you think consequence first and not reward first.
God, man, I just love being older.
Yeah, man. And it gives you. You're right though, in the sense of I've now, be it my actual age or just the gray.
Right.
I've reached that point now to where my words carry weight with everybody around me.
Everybody.
If they're older than me,
Yeah.
I'm old enough to where they're going to listen.
Yes.
If they're younger than me, I'm already older, so they're going to listen.
Yes.
So I've reached that age now to where my words carry weight no matter what circle I'm in.
Right.
And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because when you were I used to get so pissed off when I was 19. Or at 21, let's say, right? Because at 21, I felt that I was grown.
Right.
I already bought a house.
Right.
I was already making good money. Like, I thought I knew everything. And I would get so pissed off. There was a phrase that I would always hear that it pissed me off.
Right.
Oh, you're just a baby. Oh, my God, I hated that at 21. I was like, a baby? Mother, I bought a house. What do you mean I'm a baby? I'm not a baby. Like, I
Or
used
wait
to,
till you have kids or all that
I
stuff that comes with it.
hated
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But now that I'm almost 40, I look back. I was a baby at 21. Like, if I see a 21-year-old, I'm like, you're just a baby.
Exactly.
You have so much yet to go through that you haven't even seen the tip of the iceberg yet, bro.
Right.
And to me, that's what gives me my confidence. is like I'm already further down the path. I don't have to. I have the confidence in knowing that I don't have to walk that path anymore. I've already done it. You know what I mean? I'm in the middle of the path now, and so I don't have. It doesn't look as long anymore, right? At 19, that path, or at 15, that path looks so far away. Like, being like 20 just feels like it's never going to be here. And then when you start to get in your 20s, you start to feel a little bit, but it feels like you're still building, and so it feels like that path is still pretty long. But you're young, you're full of vibrancy. Then you start to get a little bit older, and you look back like, man. I like where I'm at on the path. Yeah. Like, I've done all that. I don't want to be that guy who's young and dumb anymore. I just don't.
There is nothing about youth that I want. And again, I'll tell you, there's only one time where I want to be younger, and that's when I go into the doctor's office, because when you're younger, they don't want to stick their finger up your butt.
Oh man!
But you get older, all of a sudden, every doctor starts. It's like, hold on there, Chief.
That's not what I signed up for, man. I want to refund.
That is the only day where I'm like, God, man. Yeah. They used to you drop and they would test you for like hernias and stuff back in the day, and you got used to that. But now they say, no.
Bend over.
Turn around.
No, bro.
Turn around. And I'm like, wait, what do I got to turn around for?
I want a refund. This is not what I signed up for. No. You know what, man?
That's the thing about getting older.
We're almost to our point here, but I gotta, man. That was one of the worst days for me ever. And I'm not even at the age yet.
I felt so violated.
I'm not even at the age, but I because of some of the
hormonal things. Yeah.
The doctor had to test my prostate because there's some medications they want to put me on that it was a worry, and I didn't know this. This is the story I'm going to leave you guys with before we do our 3 things. I did not know this, right? So here I am. I go to a urologist. We're talking about it, and he's put me on these meds. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking we're fine. Nobody told me about this. I don't have a dad that's telling me these things. I don't have an older brother. I'm just hanging out in the urology department talking to my doctor. He was like, hey, we're going to go ahead and check you. I was like, okay. Drop the trowel. Does the little hernia thing. I cough. I think we're good to go.
You think you're
I'm
done?
getting ready to pull him up. And he's like, no, turn around. I was
exactly.
like, what do you mean? For what? Dude, I felt so vulnerable in that moment. I'm like, what do you mean turn around?
No means no.
Yeah.
Time out.
Hashtag me too, bro. So he tells me to turn around, and I'm like, wait, what? And then he tells me to grip the bag. I'm like, I did not want to do it, but my wisdom told me I had to.
Yep.
So I was like, okay. I turn around.
Just embrace it, man.
The dude used which I'm thankful for.
Wait, did you just go like that?
He used so much lube on his hands. And now I understand, because I don't know if you've ever been to your wife's gynecology appointments or pregnancy stuff or whatever, but they use a lot of stuff to look up in there. And my wife always has to do this little scrape thing when they get all this goo off of them. Yeah, bro.
Oh my god.
And so he bent me over. He did that thing, and it sucked. It was horrible. Did not like it at all. I felt like he had the biggest fingers ever, and it was fast, but it felt like it took forever. And he was like, "Okay, you're all good." I'm like, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I just pulled my pants up, and I didn't even wipe the stuff off because I was so I didn't.
You just wanted to get out.
Yes.
You wanted to go take a shower.
I was done. I didn't want anything to do with anything else. I just pulled my pants off. So the whole ride home, I had this gooey crap all over my shorts. I'm like, dude, what the hell just happened to me?
God, dude.
And what sucked was I didn't even know. Right? Like, I thought.
You didn't know if you had to pick up the phone and say, I just got violated.
Yeah.
You know, was just what happened? Was that okay?
Well, see, my problem was.
You got Weinstein and you didn't even know.
Yeah. I thought I would have had some sort of warning, right? I thought I would have known, hey, you're going to need to come in to do this. I'd have to make the appointment. I'd have to, have that moment where I'm like, this is what I'm getting ready.
Nope.
No, it was just now.
Yep.
What? What do you mean now? No, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
No.
I definitely wasn't ready. That's exactly what my guy's horrible. A 6'6" black dude with hands that big.
I'll find my little Asian.
I want a little Asian doctor from now on. I'm going to get me a little Asian doctor from now on.
That was horrible, man.
You know, one that just is going to just take for granted that my prostate must be okay because his fingers aren't big enough to know.
It was horrible.
That's what I want.
And I don't ever want to see him out in public ever.
I know.
I don't ever want to be walking in Walmart, look up, and he's right there. I don't want that moment ever.
He's gonna come up from behind you and says, I thought that was you."
I want him to move to another country and just never just forget I exist. Which is funny because he probably doesn't care, but to me it was it was a moment, man, and I didn't like that moment. I want a refund.
Wow.
So,
that's the
anyway.
only thing about age that I've had a problem with,
that
to be honest.
sucks. That's a good one to have a problem with.
That's it.
I didn't like that at all.
Other
Anyways,
than that, it's been good.
you got any final words before we close this up?
So we don't end it with your anal probing?
Exactly.
Okay. Listen, this age thing is happening whether you like it or not. It's been happening your entire life. There's a lot of you that with every new decade you go into, you look back on the last decade and say, oh, those were the best years. Those were the best years. I urge you not to look at those young years and say those are the best years of your life. The best year of your life is always the one that you're in, because that's the one that you can do over because you haven't done it yet. So this is the one that you're in. Be completely present and embrace it. There's so many things around you that you have yet to experience. You don't know what life is at this new age that you're at. You don't know how the world's going to treat you. I remember first getting on an elevator and people weren't freaking out. When I first cut my hair and my beard, I remember they treated me differently on the elevator. I remember when older people no longer said what you said earlier, that you're just a kid or you're just no.
Just a baby.
And so with every evolving period, it's exactly that. It's an evolution. It's not a decomposition. It's an evolution. Evolve, don't decomp. That's my final words.
Yeah, and those are good ones. A lot of what I'm getting ready to say is going to echo some of that.
Okay.
So for the 3 tips, once again, I like to give some sort of action plan here.
Right.
This is more along the lines of a thinking action plan. So for our 3 tips when it comes to living with age and aging, number 1, first and foremost, you got to keep in mind that aging is not good or bad. It just is. It's not a good thing. It's not, because for many people that you could find that say it's a bad thing, you're going to find just as many saying it's a good thing. It's all about kind of your perspective and how you look at it and how you approach it, which takes me to our second tip. And the second tip is let your perspective age with you, right? Stop looking at your 30s through the eyes of a 20-year-old. Stop looking at your 40s through the eyes of a 30-year-old, and so on and so forth. Let your perspective kind of evolve with you and kind of just change, right? Because the world is changing, you're changing, your perspective should change as well. And then the last one is how to use that perspective. And number 3 is embrace each decade. As he was just saying, instead of looking at each decade as, oh, it only goes downhill from here. No, man, like, I'm leaving my 30s here soon. I'll be 39 in a couple weeks, and this is my last year in my 30s before I hit 40. And for a lot of people, that's a big deal, but for different reasons. For me, it's a big deal because I'm excited to see what my 40s is. It's all about me now. It's going to be about building my marriage, watching my kids evolve, and that's awesome. So all that work I've done in my 30s, I get to see it happen in my 40s. And so that's what I mean by embrace each decade. So each decade you're in brings new challenges, new rewards, new everything. Embrace those. Don't fight them. So I think that's all we got today. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you share, like, do what you got to do, subscribe. And now that you know better, do better. Peace. Are you still here? What are you doing? I told you, go do better.